G'day guys, ZiggyD here. In this video I want to share with you guys a higher damage lightning arrow variant of my Tanky blood magic ranger. Now a lot of you guys have sent messages in and left comments saying that you're very happy with how your build's going, you've reached endgame, you're starting to get into maps and you're having a really good time with it. So that's pretty awesome. I'm really happy with all of the feedback I've been getting on it. However, I have got a few messages from people who are looking for a higher damage variant of the build, don't feel like the damage is high enough, or are playing in default and want a bit more of a funner build. This build will still be super tanky, not quite as tanky as the other variant, but will sacrifice a bit of tankiness for quite a bit of extra damage. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out after doing a bit of testing and playing around with it on the passive tree and playing around with some of our skill choices. So you'll notice over on the right hand side of the screen there, I think that's the right hand side of the screen for you guys, is a list of skills and damage focus and just information about the build. I want to make sure to include this here because I got a lot of questions from the last one. I'll also link down in the description below to the forum thread, which I will update after making this video as well. But basically, a damage focus is now pretty much the same thing, physical to elemental conversion. We still need a high physical damage bow for this build. We're getting a lot of extra phys damage from the iron grip conversion from strength like we were before, so that's still the same. We're getting elemental damage is a bit more of a bonus in this build. Lightning Arrow has a higher percentage conversion of your physical to elemental damage, so we can use things like weapon elemental damage and increased elemental damage affixes on gear to get a bit more extra damage out of the build. And if you do happen to pick up any elemental damage mods on your gear, then you can try and focus on lightning ones as well. And we also get a fair bit of bonus damage from a 20% chance to shock from static blows up here on the left side of the passive tree. But I'll go into that after I finish explaining the skills we're going to use. So our main AoE skill in this variant of the build will be Lightning Arrow. We'll be using PS early on in the game, or we don't even have to use that. We can get a bit of PS from the Projectile Weakness Curse. Otherwise, it's going to be Chain at endgame. Chain gets really effective with Lightning Arrow at endgame, and we can get one of those skill gems a little bit later on. Otherwise, you can just go for neither. It's perfectly viable to not use PS or Chain in this build. I like at least using PS if you're going to use something. Otherwise, the PS from the Curse, as I said, works pretty well. Lesser multiple projectiles is mandatory for Lightning Arrow. It's not like Split Arrow where it's built in or anything like that. You need weapon elemental damage as your 4th link, and as you move into your 5th and 6th link, you can get faster attacks for a big increase in damage, and added fire or life leech if you want a bit more survivability. Both of those very good support gems to add on. You can substitute life gain on hit for Lightning Arrow while you're leveling, along with a lot of the other skills, and it's really effective with Lightning Arrow as well, actually, for giving you boosted survivability while leveling. A single target skill is still going to be Frenzy, and we use that with added fire, life leech, faster attacks, weapon elemental damage, and then either projectile speed or added lightning for the 6th link. Honestly, I don't think it's worth getting a 6th link for Frenzy, so 5 links is perfectly fine, because that last support gem, there's not really too much we can do with it. Next up for curses, as I said, we can run Projectile Weakness. However, if you want to go for Chain on Lightning Arrow, you'll probably want to substitute this out for Elemental Weakness, which is just an elemental damage buff. Otherwise, for our defensive curses, we can run Enfeeble and Temporal Chains. Our defensive procs are still the same, cast on damage taken at level 1. This might be getting changed soon, so this might change, but I'll keep you guys posted if that does happen. But for now, we'll be running Molten Shell, Enduring Cry, and Decoy Totem on that proc. For our mobility, I've decided this build will work really well with Lightning Warp attached to faster casting and reduced duration. I've used this on a few builds now, and it works fantastically, and it's perfect for a bow build since we can't leap slam around with a bow build. So really nice, don't need a weapon swap or anything like that, can just set it up on a 3 link and it's good to go. And then finally, because people always ask and I always forget to mention it, Bandit Quests. Take life from Oak, phys damage from Oak, and then either with this build, if you want more damage, you can go for the Frenzy charge for small single target damage, or you can go for the Endurance charge for more increased tankiness, and either one of those is a fine option, no real problems there. So in terms of actual modifications, I believe I dropped the evasion and life cluster here, and we don't head up in this direction. We still come through the top of the tree here for these really efficient damage nodes, and that's still good stuff. We'll get the frenzy node over here, all the life, all the standard stuff we got before. Pretty much none of this area of the tree has changed, so we still come down and get Iron Grip, Unwavering Stance, Blood Magic, Resolute Technique. However, this is where things deviate. We now drop the Marauder area, which is super efficient in terms of tankiness. This is a super efficient little line of tankiness there. And instead, we head north, we grab these life nodes along the way, we duck into the Templar area to get some elemental damage. As I said, Lightning Arrow converts more of your phys to elemental, so Catalyze starts to become very attractive in this build, and we get the super efficient life nodes in here as well. We also, along the way, grab Holy Strength here. Now, aside from just being life, these nodes also give extra strength. This one here gives 20 strength. This one here also gives 20 strength, bringing our total of strength in this setup without any gear to 274. So we should be easily over 300 in this build, which is where Iron Grip starts to really shine, and you've got a lot of physical damage increase from that. So from there we head to the north here. We grab this excellent life cluster here, and this is the one that really made me like this build, that we could still we could go ahead and head up here to grab static blows, but still get a fair bit of life and also get some chaos resist on here. So I actually really like this, and I still think it's turned out pretty tanky. I might actually recommend this as the main variant of the build now, like my most recommended one, and maybe I'll end up playing it in the walkthrough series. Still haven't decided, but maybe I should grab a lightning arrow and start leveling it just in case, because I'm not quite at the point yet where I have to make a decision which variant I want to go for. So from there, we want to go get static blows. You might actually want to rush to this a little bit more earlier, but I think it's fine to wait until endgame to get static blows. What this does is gives us a total 20% chance to shock, even with resolute techniques. So that means with one volley of chain lightning arrow, you're going to shock stack most enemies with a 1/5 chance of shock stacking them. It works out pretty well, and each shock stack, they stack up to 3, gives you a 30% increase in damage. So it allows you to increase our base damage in this build, which is just kind of okay-ish to good, not fantastic, not exceptional, but with static blows it allows us to really take advantage of the damage we have and multiply that out. So this works out really nicely, and lightning arrow again proving that it's pretty much always going to be one of the best bow skills. But those other variants, if you still want to play lightning shot or split arrow or some sort of pierce sort of build, really fun. Those other variants are still there for you guys to check out, and they'll still be linked in the forum thread. And otherwise, give this one a shot if you want a higher damage variant, but slightly less tanky, but probably still extremely hardcore viable, and it's definitely default viable and should be pretty fun as well. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know a couple of you guys were requesting this, and some of you guys might also be interested to see other ways you can build this character. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.